It wasn't going to be an easy one. They came in, I think, winning 3 in a row, 4 out of 5. And beating a Portland State team that's done some pretty good things, especially early in the season, where they shot 64%. And so we knew it was going to be difficult. It's not easy on our guys. We got a lot of young, inexperience, and I'm just really proud of what they did in the second half. We did not play particularly well in the first half. And I thought in the second half we played with a little bit more toughness, a little bit more urgency and energy. And, lessons learned. We got to do that for 40 minutes, but there's a lot of teams across the country that are getting beat by teams that probably they think they shouldn't get beat by. And we've been able to go through this non-conference with a lot of inexperience and still get the wins. And now we're 8-2. And now we go through a stretch now where we're getting to play ranked opponents. We're going to get Gonzaga, we're going to get Kentucky, we got to go to Alabama afterwards, and then you start with Colorado and Utah. So the next 5 games beyond are going to be incredible opponents that are ranked and very tough. And hats off to Riverside. I thought they played extremely hard. They did a lot of good things, but at the end of the day, we get a double-digit win. We hold them 32%. We out-rebound them. We did a lot of good things.
Last game, you were not pleased at halftime. Was it the same type of deal? And did you have to?
Yeah, I wasn't pleased again. I hope it's not a habit, but it's been toughness. It hasn't been, we turned the ball over 16 times. I thought we were a little bit more careless tonight, especially in the first half. I think we had 8 and 8. So both halves we turned it over 8 times, which is too much for us. But I thought we were more careless in the first half. The turnovers were more careless. The second half, they were a little bit more aggressive turnovers, which if you're going to turn the ball over, do it aggressively. Don't do it passively and where they're non-concentrated type of turnovers. So I just challenged our toughness again because I think that's where our ceiling is. If we're going to ever reach the ceiling that we need to as a basketball team, it's about getting tougher. And toughness is a lot of things. Toughness is stance. Toughness is arms out. Toughness is a block out. Toughness is talking. We're still a very quiet team. And that's not all the players' fault. It's new to them. A lot of these guys are going through it for the first time. So, and a lot of them are going through it for the first time in new roles. So, I think it's human nature to make sure I'm taking care of myself. And we got a very unselfish group, but they just don't talk enough. And we got to become a more talkative team. That will really help us.
How concerning are the slow starts, especially with the schedule ramping up pretty soon?
Well, what has it been? 2 games. 2 games. I don't think we've had slow starts. Always have. We've had
just the 2 games.
I think these two games, you're right. We've had slow starts, and I don't know if it's really. Was it tonight the slow start or I can't remember now. But I was more concerned at half where they'd had I think 11 or 12 more shots than we did, and that just can't happen with what we want to do offensively. We had a lot of urgency, a lot of stress on the defensive end. And I don't know why we were so stagnant in the first half. Like, I don't know my glasses, but we shot 23 shots in the first half. I guess 24 again in the second half. We didn't get very many shots up. They got 21 more shots up than we did, and that's not characteristic of what we want with our offense. So those are things we got to look at tape. Now we shot twice as many free throws, so that'll have a little bit to do with it. But we'll see, if that's a trend. I hope it's not a trend. But, we got a nationally top 10 team coming in here on Saturday, so it should be pretty exciting. Our guys they've waited a long time because we felt like we had a really good opportunity against Oklahoma. Didn't make free throws, so that one got by, and then we didn't play well against Carolina. So it was our third-ranked opponent that we get a chance to play. We got them in our building, so we got to play well.
When you have some lax stretches like you guys have had in the last 2 games, does it help to have a big-time team coming into town where it's going to get everyone's full attention and focus from the jump?
Well, I hope so. From a coaching standpoint, you just can't do that though, and those are lessons our young guys have got to learn. And I'm trying to put some pressure on, putting a little heat on Norm, putting a little heat on Bryce. One, because I think those 2 can handle it, but they got to help these other guys and know that you don't do that. You don't get up for a Riverside one way and a Gonzaga another way. You do that, and then what happens are things like are happening all across the country. I think you had Incarnate Word beat at Nebraska tonight. You've had Michigan lose back-to-back tough home games. It's happening all over the country, and so you set yourself up for just being a team that if you're only going to get all jacked up because of the name on the jersey, then you're only going to play so well so many times. And we're trying to get consistent. We're trying to get tough. We've got weaknesses, obviously, but if we can get tough, if we can really get tough and a little bit of nastiness to us, I think you'll see us, that water's going to rise, the tide's going to rise with this team, and that's going to be fun to watch. If we don't develop that toughness, then I think we're always going to be this kind of team right now, and we obviously are trying to get better.
Steve, speaking about consistency, Kayvon Looney, another double-double. Freshmen aren't always known for their steadiness and consistency. What do you attribute that to for him?
Well, he's an outstanding player, and he prepares well for games. He plays with a lot of energy. He's very, very consistent. He's been that way in high school and through AAU. But you're right. It's hard for me to really answer that because I've only had him for 10 games. But through 10 games, he's just a double-double waiting to happen. And you don't see that a lot out of freshmen. So, we're obviously glad he's on our team because he's been a tremendous help for us. And he's doing that now that you got 10 game tapes. People are preparing for him. 2-3 weeks ago, they might not have been. Now they are, and he's still getting double-doubles. And I thought Tony was really good tonight. I thought Tony, that's the Tony that we've got to have. And we got his minutes up. He wasn't in foul trouble. He was able to stay on the floor more. But 16 and 16, that's an impressive double-double. It's not, just 10 and 10. I mean, 16 and 16, you're getting some work done. Larson, their starting center, fouls out in 16 minutes, and Tony had a lot to do with that. So when Larson went out, they had no other choice but to be small, and that really opened up the basket for us to draw fouls, get in the post. So I thought he did a really good job with that.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.